Hi and welcome back to Fonte Pipa. In this video I want to show you what I started back in, I think, November, around that time. If I'm wrong, I'll put it up on the screen, where I started to plough up the field that's behind me, and there's two more fields down there which I'm going to take you down to have a look at, see what I've been up to. These strip of fields here never really grew anything when we got the farm. Very sparse of any grass or anything. Even though I've lightly been scarifying it, nothing's ever really grown back. So I've sown in there Triticale and Lupins. So after preparing the land, I then hand sowed everything in here, and it's about 3/4 of a hectare, this one. I'm just about to start ploughing up some more of the farm because we get a subsidiary on the farm for planting corn and for wheat. So milho e aveia. And that's food for the goats as well. I'm going to plant the land that we've got down in front, which is, if you've seen the pump videos, it's the land that's close to the river down there. I'm going to plough that up and plant that for the first time with corn, because people we know that worked here many years ago, they've told us that that's very good for planting corn, and they've seen corn up to 8 feet tall in there because it's next to the river and it's very moist down there. Plus we can water it very easily and very quickly with the big pump that we've got. Right, well, before I take you off, I'll show you a clip that I took back in November of me on the tractor when I was cleaning the land. I've just seeded and raked it all in. Let's have a wander around. I'll show you what's been growing. I'll take you up this way first, and if you can see, I don't know if you can see it behind me, that's the Serra Gardunha mountains. You wouldn't really have seen it before the fire. You can see the little green dots, that's eucalyptus growing back again, unfortunately. So, but hey, should be at least another 8 to 10 years before we see a fire. Well, this is one of the fields. It's our back gate. It's a bit thin, that's because, like I said, the goats have got on it a few times. This is Triticale, and this is what it should look like. I'm trying to find some. Well, there you go, you can see there's a top being eaten out of that one. This has had a top eaten from it, and the goats have been across here a few times. This is coming along. There we go, there's one of the start of the lupin flowers. That's what a lupin looks like in it when it's beginning. Oh, there we go, one a little bit further on, and obviously you can see some of it there. You can see there's quite a few rocks in this land up here. A lot of the farm, a lot of Portugal farmland is the same. It's this brown dirt with a lot of rock. I think I've explained in one of the other videos how they obviously formed this entire farm by chiseling out and making these terraces. So they would have been breaking up rock, and they built the walls with the larger pieces. They filled the lower part in of the terrace with the rocks that you're looking at, and then they put soil in over the top. And over the years of people ploughing it, they would have brought some of the rocks to the surface. I don't know if you've seen I think it's our second to last video that we've done, repairs on the Portuguese Homestead. I showed you a tool that I made for planting potatoes, and it's there's a fitting I made for the back of the tractor which I can change tools on. I made another tool which is further down at the house, which is just a sort of a rake set at 45 degrees angle. And when I plough up these lands like this and these rocks come to the surface, if I plough it quite a lot, well, not plough it, but with my finger tine, it brings a lot of the rocks to the surface. And then I pass the rake when I've got a lovely fine soil, and it makes rows of these rocks. And I've actually recovered quite a few of the terraces lower down, which when I sow them, there's very little rock in it. Doesn't really bother me, but you do lose a percentage, because if you've got big rocks like this, you know, you're not getting things growing underneath it. In fact, that's either vetch starting or some of my lupins. But when you've got things like that sat there, you're not getting the seeds to germinate at that point. Anyway, yeah, the goats have had a good going in this field. The clean sections of the wall over there, I'd cleaned this not long ago, and I'd not fixed these parts of the wall, but I tidied them up. This, I think, is the wild boar that have been running across here more frequently after the fire. We've got some land up there which had eucalyptus on it, and there used to be wild boar beds up there. There used to be 20 or 30 of them there of a night. When we had our 2 older dogs, they'd be up there for most of the evening trying to chase them away. And they did make a huge difference, because since those 2 dogs have gone, the pigs are really coming into the farm. So we're thinking about getting a large Serra Estrella dog, which will sleep outside with the goats. Not on a chain. I don't believe in any of that. It's a shame. I'd like to keep it in the house, but I feel if I keep it in the house, it's not going to quite do its job. The Serra Estrella dog is a Portuguese animal protecting dog, very, very large, and it will actually go and fight with the wild boar and stand a pretty good chance for survival. I don't particularly want it to go and fight the wild boar, but once we put a perimeter fence around a lot of the land there for the goats, if the boar are trying to get in through the fence, because they'll rip it out of the ground unless it's in concrete posts and the bottom is concreted, they will pick the fence posts up and just rip them out of the ground. So you want a dog the other side barking, where hopefully the wild boar are going to think that it's not worth it, and they'll pass. But the trouble having so many cork trees, the amount of acorns we get, which was brilliant when we had pigs, but wild boar like acorns. It's one of their favourite foods, so they're really tempted to come in here. And one of the things that I get the subsidiary for, which is wheat, avea, is one of the worst things you can plant, because they will smell it from miles away and come and hunt it out. So I'm trying to work out the best places for me to plant that at the moment, where it's just an open field. There's no walls for them to knock down. So if they come in and destroy the land and eat a lot of the wheat, well, then that's fine. At least they're not smashing up and causing damage to the farm. So, because you can see what they do. This wall was never great when we bought the farm. That's an old collapse, but these, you can see where the stones are a different colour. They're new. So, but the best field I've got is the one we're going to walk down to now. I'm quite impressed though, because this field, like I said, look how bare it is. And I know I've sowed this by hand, so I'm probably not done it at 100% the correct rate. In fact, I think I've put a little bit too much lupins in and not quite enough Triticale, but hey, it's the first time, and as this land is poor, I thought I'd rather err on the side of sowing less to give the ground a chance to recover. And like I said, the lupins, the yellow flowers, they will draw nitrogen from deep down in the land and bring it out into the soil. So hopefully the next time we do this, and then we've had the goats passing across it and dropping their manure, I'm hoping that this land will come back for next year, or at least later on next year. I'm just trying to look myself. I don't know if you can sort of make it out on the camera, but I can see several of the tall grass. Some have got seed heads on and others haven't, and you can tell where the goats have come in here and stripped it. Yeah, we've caught the goats in on these bits of land quite a few times actually. I don't know if you can see it. There's a little dip just in front of me here. I think I'm showing it to you, which runs along over there. That's a water trough. So. Oh. And now here we are down in this other field. Hope that's not too quick. You can see this is much thicker with the lupins. And here's this water channel just along this little bank here. There's a little groove in there which needs cleaning out, but that comes from over here. And obviously I think you'll all know about the Lister pump, the big old-fashioned pump we've got that pumps water right down there from the river, and pumps it up to the, and then it pumps it up to the big tank, Well, this is one of the spots the big pump also comes out at, and there's a big steel pipe in here. So there's a big steel pipe in there and a water channel just under these brambles. And that means you can cut a hole in there with your trusty enshada and we can water this field. Like I was saying, you can cut a hole in the bank there and water all of this field with the big pump in it. It won't take long. Let's have a look. So this is looking much better. So as you can see, this is one of the better fields we've got. This is taken much better. The bees have started to buzz around now, so Molly and I in the next week are going to get our beehives out, because unfortunately, no, we haven't even put up the video for that yet, the last video for that. And the reason why is because we went to go to the beehives and the moths had it, and they'd eaten the whole of all that the bees you saw that we had. So we're going to take the boxes out of there and we're going to place them outside now. With some scents in there trying to attract the bees, and we've got a pretty good feeling we should get some, because the farm is absolutely riddled with honeybees in the summer. It really is. Very sadly, the tank at the top of the farm up there, it was surrounded by huge rosemary and thyme bushes. They were enormous, trunks like this on them. Fire took the lot. I'm not quite sure, they've got to be over 60, 70 years old. They were like trees, and the bees used to be all over them. And sadly the fire's taken them, and we've literally got one or two of them left, which is not just for me and to see the lovely thyme bushes, but the bees are going to lose out on it. And it was a good drawing point on the farm. We felt we could have put boxes up around the top tank there and actually caught a lot of bees just because of the rosemary bushes. Well, there we are. That's what I've been doing for the goats, or the start of what I've been doing for the goats. I'll make another video about me ploughing the land down by the river and getting ready for what else I'm going to sow. When that's going to be quite right now, I really don't know. I'm hoping to do it within the next month at least, whilst we've got this good weather and the ground's still humid to some degree. So thanks to all the new subscribers, and as always to our Patreons, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.